Becky, would you take attendance, please?
Yes, Judge. The Honorable Sharon Keller.
Here.
Mr. Alex Bunnan.
Here.
The Honorable Valerie Colby. The Honorable Brenda Creighton. The Honorable Richard Evans.
Here.
Mr. Jay Cohen.
Here.
The Honorable Nathan Hecht. The Honorable Missy Maderi.
Here.
The Honorable Joe Moody. The Honorable Reggie Smith.
I'm here, by the way. Yeah, there we go.
The Honorable Sherry Raddick. The Honorable Vivian Torres.
Here.
The Honorable John Whitmire. Judge, we have quorum.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for December 7th, 2023?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Okay, I just have a few things to talk about. First of all, thank y'all for coming. Let me see. Some of these are very easy. Scott suggested that we try to schedule our meetings out for the rest of the year, and I think that's a great idea. So you all will be receiving email about when those schedules form. We might be able to do that. The legislative appropriation request will be due this summer, usually around the beginning of August. So we will need to get it ready over the next few months, and we want input from the board. Scott and I talked about a strategic planning meeting focused primarily on the LAR. And I think we can do it by Zoom and get more people involved. So you will also have possible dates for that. Scott and I were talking yesterday or the day before, and I realized something that had slipped my mind or I hadn't really thought about. But, you know, we used to have 13 board members. Now we have 15. And there is probably some legislation that we will need to change our statutes. Now, the statutes about voting majority quorum, I don't even know what all, are based on 13-member board. So, for instance, it takes 7 votes to do certain things. We need to change that. We need to ask the legislature to change that, make it 9 instead of less than a majority to change certain things. So that's something that we will be looking at over the next couple of months as well. Finally, as many of you know, I did not win re-election to the court, so I will be leaving the board at the end of this year. By statute, the chair of the board is elected by the members of the board. I would like us to elect a new chair before I leave so that we can have some overlap. I will still be on the board. And we don't have anything on the agenda today about electing a new chair. So I'd like to do that at our June meeting. I want to give you a heads up also that I don't mean to jump the gun, but I will tell you in advance that there's someone I want to nominate, and that's Judge Missy Maderi. So we can get back to that in June after everybody has a chance to think about it and talk it over. And that concludes my report. Any questions? All right. Let's move on to the director's report. Scott?
Thank you, Judge Keller. Wanted to start off by talking about new hires that we have. Natalie Corvington is here today. We hired her back in January, former staffer for the Office of Capital and Forensic Writs, as well as the Travis County Office of Parental Representation. So has a lot of experience in our space. She is going to be splitting her time between helping Crystal F. Pignon, our Director of Family Protection Representation, help build out our new Family Protection Representation Program, as well as working with the policy and improvement teams. So welcome, Natalie. Thanks for being here. Policy analyst. We have a policy analyst position that we've been interviewing for. We have selected a candidate. We are working through our final, not interviews, but calling references and whatnot. So we are on the verge of making another hire there. We had some interns this summer from St. Mary's who volunteered as part of the alternate spring break program. So thanks to those interns. You will be hearing more about our salary work group from Dr. Sarah Gamble here shortly. We had our second meeting with the salary work group on March 25th. We also did an extensive survey and research to help inform that process. So you'll be hearing more about that and voting on some recommendations here shortly from the salary work group. You may recall that we did some research around the use of investigators in Texas and had a report that was issued last year. There's a link in your materials for that. As part of that research, we determined that both attorneys and investigators felt like there needed to be more training around the use of investigators. And so we had a training last week in Lubbock that I thought went really well, that was attended by both investigators as well as attorneys. And we're planning to have another one in San Antonio later this year. That was sponsored by the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, the Texas Criminal Defense Lawyers Association, PI Education, and TIDC. For Gideon Day this year, we had a low-key celebration just with staff, but we also did a bit of social media outreach on the issues of right to counsel and the importance of Gideon versus Wainwright decision, and featured a number of videos that we have recorded over the past couple of years of public defense leaders talking about the importance of Gideon and the right to counsel. We submitted some interim charge proposals to select members of the House and Senate, and you will see the interim charge proposals in your materials that we submitted to them. We're still waiting for, what those interim charges are going to be. They have not been issued from the Senate or House quite yet. I did want to bring to your attention that TIDC was named in some Bexar County litigation that was filed in a JP court. This came out of a case where an expert was allegedly not paid for services provided by court-appointed counsel. And so the court-appointed lawyer, the expert filed a suit against the court-appointed attorney, Bexar County Managed Assigned Counsel, and TIDC. And we reached out to the Attorney General's office, and the Assistant Attorney General has filed an answer on our behalf. Regarding Operation Lone Star, we have a new Operation Lone Star Public Defender Office that's been established in Maverick County that's being run by Texas Rio Grande Public Defender. And that will be serving Maverick, Dimmitt, and Zavala counties on felony cases only. A chief public defender has been hired and other staff, and they're up and running and taking cases. Arrests have been fairly steady over the past quarter, and there's been